I'm going to talk a little bit about the difference between what we call probate and non-probate assets. Probate assets are things that are controlled by your will, that the will explains what should happen with them. Non-probate assets are not covered by the will. How do we know what's what? When we look at someone's property, there are basically three types of non-probate assets, and everything else is covered by the will. The three types are anything with a designation of beneficiary. We're typically thinking of things like life insurance policies, 401ks, stuff like that, where it says specifically on the thing we're talking about who it should go to when you pass. You can do the same thing with bank accounts, motor vehicles, all sorts of stuff. Another category is joint property, things that we own jointly with someone else. In most circumstances, joint property is going to become the property of the survivor when one of the joint owners passes. So we're often thinking about joint bank accounts or property that a married couple owns. When a married couple owns real estate and they purchase it as a couple during their marriage, they typically will own it by something called tenancy by the entirety, where they each own all of the property, and if someone passes, the other receives the property outright by operation of law. There's no new deed or anything like that. So again, it's not covered by the will because it's joint property. So we have property with a designation of beneficiary, joint property, and the last category is anything in a trust, because a trust will spell out what should happen in that circumstance and essentially overrides the will in terms of anything that's inside the trust. So we have three big categories in those two buckets of things that are covered by the will and things that are not.